Welcome to another live stream. Hopefully my lips are in sync because tonight we are actually running from my camera 4K into a splitter, and then one of the splitters goes into the YoloBox Extreme and then back in to my ATEM. So let me know tonight in the chat. So let's take off the regular glasses and get out the bat cave glasses so I can see in the studio and see you guys much better. A little dirty glasses tonight. That's not good. Let's see if we can't rectify that real quickly. But thank you for joining me tonight. Please say hi in the chat and where you're from in the world. We've got a great show tonight. We're going to look at some new products that are kind of been leaked out there. Some of them have little bit of information. Some of them have very little information. And then we're going to also look at some really cool updates that came in the YoloBox Extreme. Got to give a little shout out to the teams that made it into the Super Bowl. And give the shout out to each and every one of you. So again, let me know in the chat if the lips are way off. And if the audio is good, let me know that. I'm going to boost my microphone up just a little more. Check. So yeah, looking good. Not super hot tonight, but it should work perfectly fine. So let me give you kind of a tour around the studio. We do have the YoloBox Extreme in the studio, and again, a shout out to YoloLive who have loaned me this device. They're going to probably come knocking on my email here pretty soon, asking for it back. But I do have a couple, actually 3 webcams plugged into it tonight. We're going to talk just a little bit about the update that YoloLive just released. We're also going to talk about a product that Rode has announced at CES, which has not got a lot of publicity, but supposedly it's coming out. I'll share with you. Actually, I have some links in the description tonight that you guys can look at based on my research. And then we're going to talk a little bit about something else that YoloLive has supposedly coming out. Don't know dates or all that, but we're going to talk about that as well. And then we're going to take some questions if you guys have any Q&A tonight. But I'm pretty excited about the YoloLive Extreme update. And again, it does enable something I think is really important. So we'll talk about that tonight in the show as well. But let's start by getting the chat going here. Chat. And just remind you that, let's see, chat on the air, and let's get this displayed. So again, thanks for joining me the stream tonight, and just make sure you say hi in the chat and your location. If you can't chat with us, it's because I have subscribe only enabled, and you'll need to subscribe, and then 1 minute later you'll be able to chat with us. So let me just go down here and see if anybody has said anything about my lips. A little bit of delay I see from Grish. Yep, there's delay from Jurish. Yep, I'm experiencing delay as well. Lips slowly getting out of sync. Okay, so let's do a little bit of adjustment here in the ATEM. And you guys can let me know now if it gets a little closer. I've added about 3 more frames of delay. So let's see what happens. I do want to run things through the YoloBox because I can just put this on the screen and that is the program out of the YoloBox. And so you're seeing the program out of the YoloBox Extreme right now. And again, this was provided to me by YoloLive. And so a shout out to them. Again, everything I'm going to share with you tonight is my opinion about the device. But mainly, we're just going to look at the firmware update. I want to be able to share the YoloBox screen so you guys will be able to see what you're able to do now with this new update. That's why we're doing it this way. So, okay. So let's see. We'll come back to the lips here in a minute. Let's just go ahead and say hi. Grish, it's good to have you here. And I've heard of the video core, but not the YoloCam P7. So I did a poll tonight that you guys can answer, please. We have 9 votes already. Before tonight's stream, have you heard about the YoloCam P7 or the RODECaster video core? And if you have, you can put it in the chat. I would love to hear if you only heard about one of those. But if you haven't heard about either one of those, please say that in the poll. So 56% of you have not heard. 44% of you said you have heard. And Gris just basically said that he had heard about the core, but not the YoloCam P7. So we're going to talk about those first tonight, but we're going to continue saying hi to everybody in the chat. Tony said he's going to be here from the beginning, so it's good to have you here, Tony. Let's see. Grish is talking to Tony here. Let's see. Good to have you here, Gary from Jurish Design, and hi to you. Let's see. Anybody else here? We have Joe from Tech for Fun. It's good to have you tonight, Joe. We have David in the house tonight. Hey, bro, Keith, bless you. Look all good and sounds good. Greetings from Lithuania. That's so crazy that people can come and gather from clear around the world. Let's see. Jay is in the house. It's good to have you. Also, it looks like we have David's heart. 4747 still needs some correction. And we'll add some more lip delay here. Again, the lip delay is because I'm going from my EOS R because I want to bring it into a shot and show you some different video footage of 2 webcams side by side with my EOS R. We're going to do that tonight, and we're going to look at the new YoloBox, and we'll add another frame of delay, and we'll see if we're getting any closer. So we've gone from 4, we're up to, I believe, 7 now, and 8 is the limit. I do know that there's going to be some delay going from the YoloBox back into tonight's live stream, so I apologize. Now, I can cut to this camera right here, and probably then my lips will be in sync or even not in sync because I've changed the frame delay, but we'll just keep rocking this camera view right here. Okay, I want to continue going through the chat here before we get started. We will try to get started as close to 10 after tonight. Let's see. Anybody else jumping in tonight's stream? Okay, we have Greenland here. Let's see. Hey, from Greenland, Nook. So I'm assuming Nook, N-U-U-K is your name, but welcome from Greenland. Man, you guys have been in the news here in the U.S. Hank is in the house. It's good to have you, Hank, as well. Let's see. I don't know, Joe, if you have any more input, if my lips are back in sync. But again, I apologize. We're going to be diving into some stuff here, so hopefully it doesn't drive you too crazy. But I have one more frame of delay I can use. Can't really fix it inside the YoloBox because I'm only passing through. So I really need to slow the audio down. That's what the frame delay does, so that the video can catch up with it. So okay. Oh, Nuuk is the capital of Greenland. Thank you. So I stand corrected. So that would be great to have BHJ76. It would be great for you to give us a name if you so desire. I had a fun little project. I had to set up a 30-minute video delay for a court trial. Wow, that's intense delay. Lips are better, Tony. It's good. Thank you for that. And yeah, my name is Bajarn. I think like one of those letters is silent, and I apologize if I just butchered your name. That is not my intent. Welcome. Thank you from coming from the capital of Greenland. That is amazing. David's heart, crazy? Not at all. Okay, so what I want to do tonight is I want to talk about a couple of products. So let's do this. How do I want to roll here? Let's see. Let's just throw this on top of me for right now. This is the best I could do, cropping you guys a still image of the RØDECaster video core. Again, I apologize that I'm putting that. Let's see. I think I can do, how can I do this? No, let's see. Let's do that just a little bit differently here. Let me go to me and my laptop. Actually, let's set this up first. Super source. Let's go into box 2. And we'll do media player 1, and then I'll drop that graphic back in and turn the key off the air. Okay. So sorry, it's not the best looking graphic. I didn't get a chance to clean it up, but that is the RØDECaster video core. And we're going to talk about that a little bit to give you a little more insight into this device. If I go over here and show you this. This is a video by Danny Black, and it was on Instagram. The link is in the description. This is how I found the RØDECaster video core. Evidently at CES 2026, which was a few weeks ago in Las Vegas, Rode had a booth, and they were showing off this new product that's supposed to release in 2026. And what the RØDECaster video core is, it is a stripped down without buttons, with one exception. It has a knob that you can control the headphones on the front of it, but there is no other buttons. So you can actually plug your RØDECaster Pro 2 or your RØDECaster Pro Duo into it through USB. And then according to Arron Parecki, who talked to his Rode contacts before his Sunday live stream, it's going to actually be able to, once you plug your RØDECaster Pro 2 or your RØDECaster Pro Duo into it, via USB-C, it's going to be able to see all of the channels. And you can also control the new RØDECaster video core by using the buttons on the front of your RØDECaster Pro 2 or your RØDECaster Pro Duo. So you already have all these buttons and controls for your audio. Now they're enabling those buttons to control the core, and the core then will be able to use pretty much exactly the same inputs, with one exception that the RØDECaster Video S has. So it's not just a boxed version of the RØDECaster Video. It's actually a boxed version of the RØDECaster Video S. And so again, it has hookups in the back. Let's see if I have that as well. Let's see, can I cut back? No, I'm already in Super Source. So let's just throw this on the screen as well. Find my mouse here. And so here is the back of the device. So you can see you have the two combo jacks. You have the two headphone jacks. There's a knob on the front, and this is what the knob looks like on the front. And you can notice there is a number 5 USB-C port. So this is the difference between the RØDECaster as far as ports, the RODECaster Video S and the RODECaster Video Core. And this, again, is a prototype that they had at CES. So it might change. It's a little taller than a 1-rack unit. I think Aaron Parecki said it's a small fraction above a 1-rack unit, so he hasn't tested it to see if it would fit like on a Blackmagic Design HyperDeck shelf. But you can try that yourself. But it does have the USB-C port on the front. You can also see that you can choose between headphone 1 and headphone 2, and that's the volume control. And I think you just push that button to switch between headphone 1 and headphone 2. So you could plug your RodeCaster Pro 2 or your RodeCaster Pro Duo into the front, or you could plug it in to the traditional back port. And again, so you can see you still only have 3 HDMI ports. You can see the USB-C ports. Again, the ports on the back are identical, they're saying, to the RODECaster Video S, but it's quite a interesting device. And again, if you want to know more about this device, then you can check out the videos in the link. And this is another video that's on YouTube. This is by Dominic DiTanna, and he is at CES, and you can see here he's actually getting a demo from one of the Rode people. And so there he's getting a demo. He demos switching this RODECaster Video Core using the pads on the front of that RODECaster Pro 2, and also the multi-view, and they talk about the fact that it still has NDI. It really has all the features of a RODECaster Video S. The one thing that they did say, Aaron Parecki said, and here is Aaron's video. That's also in the description link below. But Arron did a video on it, I think, yesterday, where he reached out to his contacts at Rode and found out that the one thing that no one was talking about in those videos that I also linked below, and Aaron's videos below, the Instagram videos below. So all 3 of these videos are linked below. But in Aaron's video, he reveals that there's going to be the ability to actually have the Core see all of the RODECaster video channels for audio, so that you could then have more control in the RODECaster control app for the RODECaster video, and you would be able to do more controls there. And when you're using audio follows video, you'll have more controls. And I'm not sure, he doesn't know if they're going to do a firmware update for RODECaster video, or for the RODECaster Pro 2 and the RODECaster Pro Duo, and in the RODECaster Video, the RODECaster Video S, so that the Video S and the RODECaster Video will be able to see all of the RODECaster Pro 2 and the RODECaster Duo channels. Right now, if you plug your RODECaster Pro 2 or your RODECaster Pro Duo into a RODECaster Video or RODECaster Video S, it will be able to detect the stereo channel, but not the individual channels. Now, all this is just information that I got from watching videos. There's nothing that I could find on Rode's site. But again, Aaron Parecki, in his video that I just showed you here on the screen, he talks about his contact at Rode and what he learned by talking to them over at Rode. So again, it's pretty interesting that this device is out there. Aaron did a better job cleaning up that picture from one of the videos than I did. But again, here is the back, and then here is that front knob section. That's the only controls on the front. And these are the controls on the back. And then obviously, if you look at Aaron's video right here, you can see the rest of the front. And so pretty intuitive. It's going to be supposedly a little less expensive than the RØDECaster Video S because it doesn't have all the knobs on the front, but it still has all the controls on the back. So I don't know if that excites you. I don't know when it's coming out. They said later this year in the booth videos, but I think the RØDECaster Video Core is really legitly coming out, or they would not have been out there demoing it at CES 2026. Now, why more people that we watch have not done videos, it must have been like one of the last days, maybe in the afternoon or something, because it seems like a lot of the people that we would normally connect with and listen to out there in YouTube world did not talk about this. Arron is the first one to talk about it, but I'm sure it's been brought up on his live stream the week before, and he probably did research and found it. I found it just because I was looking for videos from CES as the week after CES progressed, just to see if anybody else got footage of something that we missed as CES was going on. And sure enough, I was able to find out that there was this device available. So any comments or chatter on that or anything that I left out, please put it in the chat here. It's good to have you, David. Thanks for joining us. It's good to have you, Sean. And K9 Striker. I wonder if there are feet wouldn't take much to shave off 1 millimeter. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen the bottom of it yet, Joe. But like kind of Aaron's response, and I would agree with this, is that, you know, why would you not make it fit a 1U rack? But again, it's a desktop device. That's what they said when he asked his Rode contact. I don't have any contacts at Rode, or I would have done the same thing. That was really smart. I've been emailing Insta360 back and forth, also YoloLive back and forth. So it's nice to have those relationships, and I am incredibly honored that I get to chat back and forth with them. Obviously, if they share anything with me in confidence, I wouldn't be able to share it here, but in reality, most of the questions asking them is just clarification. ATEMs are getting more expensive. Rode is getting cheaper. Yeah, so I think Rode is what's the right word? It's a good option. And I think just to chat about that just for a second, this vamp here, because again, Rode has really been adding some cutting edge devices. I had the original RodeCaster Pro. Before that, I was using Rode microphones. They had some nice plug in your phone lapel microphones that I used for years. Then they came out with the Rode wireless microphones. I have one on right now. This is a wireless Go 2. And it has a transmitter, my RodeCaster Pro 2, which is my second RodeCaster Pro device. They came out with a Pro, which I purchased with my own money. Then they came out with a Pro 2. I have two of those, purchased them with my own money. One was used from a consult client that I had, that I bought an ATEM Extreme ISO from and a RodeCaster Pro 2 from. So I have another RodeCaster Pro 2 for remote work, and I have an extra Extreme ISO 2 now that's good for remote work, and I have two Extremes in my studio. And so the Wireless Pro 2 and the Wireless Pro Duo have transmitters available, and you can have two of these Wireless Go or the Wireless Pro, or I think there's one other wireless from Rode that will work as well. You can then attach these wirelessly. So I have this attached to my RodeCaster Pro 2, and I'm using it for audio. So to be able to use the buttons on a RodeCaster Pro 2 or RodeCaster Pro Duo to control the RodeCaster Video Core, it makes sense that it would sell less for than the RodeCaster Video S. And so that core could be on your desk or on a small shelf by your desk, and you could plug your video inputs. You could actually use the NDI that's available in it. You could also use the USB port in the back of the S for a webcam. So there's lots of options that you could use that for. So for a small studio with a RODECaster Pro 2 or RODECaster Pro Duo, combine that with the RODECaster Video Core, and I think you have a great solution because you've probably already spent the money on the RODECaster Pro 2 or the RODECaster Duo. Tony says the Core is a great addition for those who already own a RODECaster audio mixer and wish to add. Absolutely, I agree wholeheartedly. Grish, it's more than 1 millimeter. Even if the feet are off, it's still too much. Thank you, Grish. Good to see you. Display Productions, let us know hello to you as well. Let us know your name and where you're coming from, and would love to know where in the world you're from. We have people tonight from all over, which is absolutely incredible. Joe, it was my suggestion for him to reach out to them instead of doing the video blindly. Well, good job. Yeah, so I was waiting for someone that I knew that would talk about it before I brought it up. I knew about it last Tuesday, but I still was not sure. I was pretty sure that it was going to happen because it was at CES, but the details just were sketchy. I think the video covered most of the features with the exception of what Arron discovered in his conversation. Again, I'm just quoting him. I have not talked to Rode about the device. On his Lego stream. Oh, so Joe is a member of Aaron Parecki's channel, and he has been building, for his channel members, he's been building a gigantic Lego, and so that sounds like a lot of fun. Better to do video with new news. Thanks, Bill. I appreciate it. Long Island, New York. Yeah, I actually have had the honor to work with a client. She was actually on one of our Zoom town halls, and former dancer, and works in New York City with a client there, and pretty cool to get connected with that New York area, and never been, and lived in Pennsylvania, got pretty close to New York a couple times, but never got a chance to be there. And always have thought it would be cool, get a chance to visit and go to Long Island. So starting to get to know people there and have an invite from her to get a tour. Shannon and I can get a tour around New York with Jenna sometime soon. So we're hoping to do that eventually. I was gifted a membership. Yeah. So the interesting thing, Aaron Parecki's had a few people on his channel that have gifted memberships. I don't have it enabled, so I don't get invited to be gifted yet. So maybe one of these days I will go ahead and turn that on and get one as well, Joe. Okay, I'm just going back here through the chat to make sure I haven't missed anything. Looks like most of you were either talking about the delay or each other. And I never put that up, but Grish says hello. Okay, let's look at the poll. The poll says out of 17 votes, so we have a good crowd responding tonight. Before tonight's stream, have you heard about the YoloCam P7 or the RODECaster Video Core? 71% of you said yes now, 29% said no. And I would be interested if you want to put in the chat the name of, if you only knew about one of those two devices, if you would put in the chat just YoloCam P7, if you knew just about it, or if you knew just about the RODECaster Video Core, would you put that in the chat? And I'm sure as many people that are a part of, I ended that poll, the people that are a part of my live stream, a lot of you also hear from Aaron Parecki. And so I'm not surprised that people are learning about the RODECaster Video Core, but I don't know that a lot of people have any clue that YoloLive in the background has been working on this other device, and we're going to talk about what I know about that here in the minute. So yeah, Tony is saying that he knew about the RØDECaster video core. Gris said he knew about the video core, but not about the YoloCam P7. So let's do this now. Let's make a transition. I want to be here all night for you guys. But when I got the YoloCam, the YoloBox Extreme, in order to, in reality, it was the YoloCam S3. I don't have the box here. But we unboxed it here on the channel. I have a couple videos on the YoloCam S3. It is a 1/1.3 sensor. And if you go to YoloCam's YoloLive site, I found a blog where they talked about sensor size on the S7 camera. We'll pop over there here in a minute, and we'll look at that. But I had to register because before they did their firmware updates for the S3, you had to log into YoloLive and create an account inside the software of the YoloCam S3 software, control software, in order to use some of the features, which a lot of people said some things about in their videos. I did as well. But I was informed very early on, because I was kind of late to the game with the S3, that they were going to change that so that you could use all the features. You wouldn't have to log in anymore. I know it's a long story, but I'm leading you to this right now. And that is, I received, this is a blog, and YoloLive does blogs, and they'll do mass emails with those blogs. So they did this one on YoloLive, or YoloLive, I call it YoloLive, new product features and creator growth 2025. So they were just reminiscing. This article was written by Betty Zhang. And so as you scroll down here, which I was just curious about all the things that they wanted to talk about, and the things that they accomplished. So there's an article here, and I was just scrolling down through this document, and I have been doing research for some clients looking for some higher resolution PTZ cameras, not something 1/2.5 like a lot of the cameras are. I wanted something more like the YoloLive S3, or even bigger than that is the YoloCam S3, has a 1/1.3, and then the sensor in the YoloCam S7 is even bigger, and I'll show you that document here in a few minutes. And so I wanted something, a PTZ camera for my clients, for at least a 1/1.3 chip like you can get in the S3. So I was kind of looking all over the internet, all over YouTube, to try to find something. So then when I take a break to read this article, I'm scrolling down, and I see these pictures and these highlighted blogs. And then I get down further, and I'm reading all of this. Then I get down here, and this slide pops up, and I say, what? I knew they had a little camera, but what is a YoloCam P7? And so even if you see right here, the YoloCam P7 coming soon, YoloCam S7 is already available. It's a 4K 60 frame. I have the YoloCam S3. Again, that was also sent to me from YoloLive to look at, and I told them I would do an unboxing on the channel, and that if I liked it, I would do a couple of videos, which I already have. So shout out to them. And so I was just scrolling down through this, and when I originally went down through this document, there was more information here. It wasn't just the YoloCam P7, but when I clicked on here, I got more information. So I wrote my contact at YoloLive and asked about it. And the response I got, and I'm paraphrasing, was, we were working on this camera. It's a 1/1.3 sensor. And we'll look at the specs here in a minute, at least that I found. It's in my still image tonight. But as they were talking about those the camera, they were saying that it's been set on the back burner for some other things they were focusing on, I'm sure, to get ready to flip over to 2025 to work on the YoloBox Extreme and all the other stuff that they're working on, because they have lots of products. I mean, if you go back and look at their products, there's a ton of them. But the reason I got excited is because the blog originally had, and I brought this up today, but originally the blog that I got in the mail had the specs of all three of these cameras. And so you could see that the YoloCam P7 was going to have the 1/1/3 chip as well. And that made it super, super exciting for me. Also NDI enabled. So let me see if I can find my little graphic here that I saved from that so I can show it to you guys. I know I used it on my still image today, so it's in my folder here somewhere. Let me just bring up on my still image. I'm opening Adobe Illustrator here. I'll let you guys watch this as it opens up. It's just a white screen now, so as it boots up. Okay, we'll switch back and then we'll zoom in here. And so in the original article, this is what they had. So 4K 60 frames per second, 1/1/3 sensor, 100 mil wireless connection, 9.6 hybrid zoom. So very similar to like the YoloLive. Is it called the YoloLive? Can't remember. And then NDI support and AI tracking. It's coming soon. And that's the only picture. That's the only thing I could find out about it. But the fact that they already have some amazing cameras, I thought this is great. So obviously it's going to be USB-C enabled. I don't know if it's going to have HDMI out. I don't know why they would do that. I think it's just going to be a gimbaled camera, and unless it flips inside, then it looks like it only has, again, 2 gimbals. So you'd have a pan side to side and up and down gimbal, and one of their cameras, I can't remember what it is. Let's go look at it here. Now they do have this camera, but it is a 1/2.5 sensor. I haven't really looked and spent any kind of time looking at the RODECaster, but it's definitely not the camera that we're looking at, because again, this is pan, tilt, zoom. It looks completely different than the camera that I just showed you guys, which is in this still image. And then here is the picture of it. And obviously I'm destroying tonight's still image, but there is the camera, and they look completely different. That from back to this. So no comparison. So somewhere up here, there's cameras out there by like Osbot, the Tal Air, which is what they're competing with. We already know what Insta360 has been doing. They have the Link, then they have the Link 2. Now they have the Link 2 Pro. I unboxed the Link 2 Pro 2 last week here on the live stream. I'll be doing some videos comparing it to the S3. You're going to see some comparison again tonight of the S3 and the Insta360 Link 2 Pro and my EOS R. And they're all set to 4K. That's why I did it. Even though for some reason the YoloBox is only bringing in from the Insta360 Link 2 Pro and the YoloCam S3, they're both only bringing into the YoloBox Extreme 1080p, and I'm not sure why that is. But anyway, so this camera has been around evidently for a while, but it's not the resolution that I'm looking for. So again, if they do actually release this year the YoloCam P7, and again, I was told it's on the back burner, possibly a later release from my contact, but no commitment. And I actually sent that graphic and this graphic in my email asking about it and any more information. And that really right now is just a project going on behind the scenes. I don't have any release dates or anything like that. But the reason it made it tonight's live stream is, again, I am really looking for a quality camera like that, and hoping it's going to be less money than the Osbot camera, the Tal Air 2, which I get ads for all the time now because I've checked it out online. But if we go to Osbot, let's go to their page officially. It didn't load. My computer didn't like their page. Let's try it again. Might have been a fake page. So again, here is the Osbot Tal Air 2. It's $1,100, a $1,200 camera. I don't need the advertisement. Thank you very little. But again, it's NDI capable, SDI, HDMI out, 1/1.5 CMOS sensor. So it's smaller than the 1/1.3 that would be in this new P7 camera by YoloLive. So that's why I'm really interested. So it's going to be higher quality sensor. I don't know how well it's going to work. I don't know when it's going to come out, if it ever comes out. But that's why I'm really curious, because I was about to recommend to one of my clients to get one of these cameras. And I was just looking for something with the same resolution, maybe more zoom, not using hybrid zoom. These are using 12x hybrid zoom, so it's 5x optical and then 12x, which means you're cropping in on the 4K sensor. And again, that may or may not be good if you're streaming at 1080p. It's probably okay if you don't crop in too far. So if you use like 8 hybrid zoom, you'll probably be fine, or maybe even a little bit more, because you are, if you're streaming 1080p, you're only cropping in on a 4K sensor. Now, if you're going to stream 4K, then you don't want to crop in at all. So you really would only want a 5x zoom with the Osbot Tal Air. So Osbot, one company, YoloLive, another company. YoloLive teasing a camera in this email or this blog. And just to defend myself a little bit, I'll come back to that here in a second. Oh, did I lose that page by going? Yeah. So just to defend myself, it's right here on their page in a blog here in all its glory. I don't know what happened to the specs. I don't see them in this blog anymore. So maybe because I inquired and started pushing a little bit, even sent an email yesterday, hoping I'd get an answer back when they were working in, I think they're in China. But I did not hear anything back. So that's all I have to say about the P7. I don't have any other details than those specs, but the fact that YoloLive might dive into the gimbal camera market, that's pretty exciting. Okay, so I do want to just do this real quick, and I'll check out the chat before I do, but let's go back to this camera. Now, Photo Joseph has been doing some YoloCam Extreme live streams. He did one today. He covered the Extreme YoloBox Extreme updates. He has the S3 camera. He has this S7. This S7 has a larger chip. Let's see if we can find it down here. There's a graph, I believe, in this somewhere. Here it is. So I've been talking about sensor size. So you can see right here, you have the 1/1.3, and then here's the 1/1.5, and then here is a 1/2-inch Sony ZV-1 sensor, and then here's the M43 of the YoloCam, and I'm pretty sure that what they're saying is that this is the sensor that's in that S7, and we're talking right now with the S3 and the new Insta360 Link 2 Pro. It has this 1/1.3 sensor, and there's a lot of confusion about these sensors, and that's why I'm trying to spend a little bit of time here on my channel talking about the technology and how it's changing, and that these sensors are getting larger and larger. So there you go. And so you can check out the YoloCam S3 information. You can also check out the YoloCam S7, and we can all watch together for the RODECaster Video Core to come out sometime this year. Maybe it'll be on display at NAB in April, or maybe it'll come out and be available for pre-order sometime in 2026. And who knows, YoloLive may release the P7 as well. And again, I think 1/1/3 camera to compare to the Insta360 Link 2 Pro with NDI, and the Link 2 Pro does not have NDI, but it looks like the YoloLive cam will have NDI. So that's sensor information. Let's jump back in the chat and just see where you guys are. So people may watch yours and Aaron's channel. You are far better looking. You're so funny. Hey, Doug, thanks for joining us tonight. It's always great to have Doug here. Check out his channel. Business Growth Ready. Hey, all. Midnight here in Birmingham, UK. Well, thank you for joining me and staying up late with us. And it would be great to have a name and a location. We'll have your location, but thanks for joining us from the UK. We also have Australia here. We have Greenland here, so it's really cool. So Display Productions, I think I said hi to you earlier, but if I haven't, I apologize. The Osbot Tail 2 is an amazing camera, and get the remote makes the game changer. Yeah, so again, Aaron Parecki has that camera. Other plays, hi all. Again, let's say it's Rick Peckham. Good to have you, Rick. And from Boston, Massachusetts. And Rick was in our Zoom town hall that we had 2 weeks ago with guys like Tony and Joe. And I'm trying to think who else was there last night. So from Boston. And the S7 takes MFT lenses. That opens up a lot of variables for tripod videos applications. Yeah. And the only downside of that camera, let's bring it up here again, is the autofocus sensor. Yeah, I can't freeze it, but the autofocus sensor is down on the bottom. So let's see, I can go back to that shot. So the sensor's down here. So if you try to put it on like a prompter, the autofocus doesn't work. So again, so a little different. I'm not sure exactly that's why they built the S7 that way. You know, why there's not like dual CMOS focus built into it. But again, it's the main camera that Photo Joseph has been using, and it's amazing looking camera. Let me see if I can find his live stream today. Let's do, I don't want to lose these. should be in my alerts if I had gone in here like I normally do. There they are. There we go. Nope, that's not what I'm looking for. So here is photo of Joseph's live stream today. He was covering the YoloLive Extreme 2.2.0 firmware update. And I was on that live stream, not with him, but I was in the chat. And so anyway, so again, if you want someone else that's streaming from the Extreme, he's actually live streaming from it. And it's series sponsored by YoloLive, then you guys can pop over and join Photo Joseph and subscribe to his channel if you have not already, right down here. And I get the alerts that he is live. And so it's a lot of fun to be able to learn from other folks on the YoloBox Extreme. Now, I have the YoloBox Extreme in here. So again, I can make some transitions right now, right from it. This is, again, you guys have been watching. That's my 4K input into it. This is the YoloCam S3. Again, I'm going to point at it right there. Next to it, on the other side of my EOS R, is the Insta360 Link 2 Pro. And one of the updates that came out, let's do this real quick. So there you go. Let's turn my logo off the air because it is in the way. And I'll turn chat off the air for a second. So EOS R on the top, YoloCam S3 on the left, and the Insta360 Link 2 Pro on the right. So again, the Extreme gives me the ability to bring in more than one webcam. And actually tonight, I actually tried the USB-C port. So there's two USB-A ports on the back of the Extreme and one USB-C. And I was able to plug in 3 webcams inside the YoloBox Extreme. And again, it's on loan from YoloLive, but I really appreciate having it in the studio. So you can see the EOS R, which is a full frame censored camera. And then the 2 cameras below are the Insta360, and I can adjust by hand the Insta360 Link too low. And then the cool thing about the Insta360 Link 2, which we unboxed last week, if I just tap on it, it changes into follow me mode. And again, they both have really good focus. I'll turn that off so you guys can just see that feature. And I can't do that with the S3. The S3's got a great picture, but the problem with both of these cameras, in my opinion, is you can't adjust them when they're plugged in. Again, you can't use the Insta360 Link 2. It's compressed video. That's this camera right here I'm pointing at on the bottom right. You can't plug it directly into a RØDECaster Video S, or the new core that I know of, because it's compressed video unless they update the firmware in the RØDECaster Video S, the RØDECaster Video, and the RØDECaster Video Core, so that you can bring in compressed video, but you can use the S3. And you also can plug the S3 and the Insta360 Link 2 or the Link 2 Pro, or even the original Insta360 Link. You can plug those into the YoloBox Extreme, because I have the S3 in here right now. And so we'll bring it up full screen. So there is the S3. Let's turn these graphics off the air. So this is the S3. This is the Insta360 Link II Pro, and I'll point at it just so you know. That's the Link 2 right there. This is the S3 right there, and then this is plugged into one of the 4K inputs. That is my EOS R right there. And again, I can put them all on the screen at the same time. Here's the two cameras side by side, and I like some of these layouts inside the Insta360. Let's adjust this down just a tad. So there they are side by side. I have the Insta360 Link a little closer to me because it's a wider field of view than the S3. So here is the S3 again on the left and the Insta360 Link 2 on the right. I don't have labels for this layout. So if you take out my EOS R and you just look at the picture quality, so what you have to do is you have to plug it into your USB port in your laptop or your computer, your Macintosh. You got to open up the software. You got to save settings so you get the color that you want, and the new control software for the Insta360 Link 2 Pro works really well. There's more controls in the S3 because it does have the ability to adjust the white balance. You also have the ability to create color profiles, so it's a little deeper. Just saw a flash on the Insta360 Link 2 camera, so if someone took me a picture of me out there through it, good job. So here they are side by side, but the cool thing, and so we're gonna open up this. I'm gonna put my microphone aside and get on my lav microphone here real quick. And what I wanna do now is I'm gonna go back to my main camera. And I just lost a camera. I don't know what happened. That's weird. The picture's not there, but it's working. There it is. Okay. I lost my preview of the, I think that is, let's put it back up there. Yeah, this is the S3. I just lost my preview on the YoloCam Extreme. And I'm going to show you guys the screen now. So let's see. Camera 4, which is my main camera. Let's play with some settings here real quick. So there's the front of the screen, and you can see I have no preview picture in that second slot. That was the S3. So we're going to go ahead and unplug it and plug it back in again to see if we can get the little mini picture, which will actually reboot the camera on the left side. It's also going to reboot down here. So it's flashing like it's booting up. And we're just going to wait and see if it pops up. And I click yes. There it goes. But I still have no preview down here. So one of the things that's really exciting about this new software is they have allowed you now to control the S7 and the S3. I think you'll have to plug the S7. I don't own one. You'll have to plug it in most likely. But you're going to be able to control the S7 and the S3 through USB-C from the YoloBox Extreme. To me, that's a really cool update. I'll show you what's in that update, but I just want to demo it right now. So I'm going to hold down this little icon. Let's make these bigger. And let's go to, oh, there's the little image again. So let's go to the top right-hand little icon. And see, now they have camera settings available. So if you have a PTZ camera, like let's go to my Insta360 Link, which is USB 2, click on that little icon. And down in that slot is PTZ control. Now, the Insta360 Link 2 does not network, so it doesn't have PTZ controls, but that's kind of what YoloCam Extreme thinks it is, or YoloBox Extreme thinks it is. So if I click on that, it can give you the information. You'd have to put in an IP address. Again, it's not a network camera, so I can't do that. Cancel. But if I go back up here to USB 1, which is in the preview window, the HDMI 4, which is my EOS R, is live. It's got a red box around it, and that's in the right-hand window, which you guys are seeing, and the whole front of the YoloCam Extreme right now, because I'm sharing the YoloCam Extreme in the video tonight. But if I click on that right little dot on the top, on the right-hand side in the bottom box in the screen. And again, the two you can see below me on the left-hand side. If I click on that, it opens up this settings. And now I can click on camera settings. It opens up this screen. And now I have the ability, and you can see it just changed the exposure in the background. It looks a little overexposed, but I can go through here now and change these. So you have a current configuration, then a default scene on the right below me. You have a little scene icon below me on the left, and then this is the zoom controls right here. So I can zoom now with this camera. Don't want to go any closer to me, but I can go in 4 times. I don't want you guys to see all the flaws in my face. That's as wide as the camera goes. So that's below me on the left. And then on the top, you have 5 folders. And the first folder is the image version. And then you have default presets that they set up. The default, then they have red corrected, fair tone, and cool colors, which is more Sony. So the first V1 is more like a Canon color profile, and the V2 is more like a Sony profile. And so I'll close that. Then you have sharpness, contrast, saturation, and then I can do the corner correction and turn that off, back on again, back off. So that is the corner correction. And then I can go up on the top and I can change the focus types. Right now I'm on face focus. This is the other 2 choices. Here is center focus, and I can move this around, I think. Yeah, I can hold it and move it around. And then I have the bigger box focus, and that can be moved around as well on the screen. I hope you guys are seeing that. But let's go back to face focus. And then I can go to the next screen, which is anti-flicker. I can have it at 50 hertz or 60 hertz. I'll turn on 60 hertz. I can have exposure set to manual or auto. I have it set to manual right now. And I have it at 1/60th shutter speed and 400 ISO. And then this DR, which I think just lowers or brightens the screen. I don't know exactly what DR stands for, but for whatever it's worth, I can go up and down with that if I'm in manual focus. If I go into autofocus, it's going to change everything. But let's go into autofocus, and now you can see then I can lower and brighten it with the EV controls. So if I go back to manual focus, I get more choices. So that's that screen. Then I have the ability to white balance it. I can set a K temperature. You can see it's set to 4600 K right now. Below that, I have a red shift and a blue shift, and I can also drag around the white balance here. There's a little dot, and I can drag that around the screen. I don't want to mess up the look tonight. I've worked quite a bit on this look, so we're just going to leave that alone. And then the last icon here is firmware. You can upgrade the firmware. You can check the device to see what firmware you have. So if I click on this, it's going to tell me what my firmware version is, and I'm up to date to be ready for tonight. And that is all the settings in the new camera control. But that is a big deal for us to be able to control the settings inside the YoloBox Extreme for the YoloCam S7 and the YoloCam S3 and possibly the new P7. We'll see if they release that camera. But to be able to plug in a webcam inside the YoloBox Extreme, take it on the road, take it for a shoot, have it in your studio, and now be able to change the color temperature to match your other cameras. You can also load in a LUT now with the new firmware update. So let's go back to my main camera, and for right now, and we're going to go back to program out, HDMI 1. We're going to go to program, so you guys are seeing program. I'll go to me and a logo. And then what I want to do now is show you guys the update. I had it open. See if I can find it again. Here we go. So let's go back on this microphone and let's talk about what they have changed. So here's all of the table of contents for the updates for the YoloCam Extreme. And we are in version 2.2.0. Again, that's what Photo Joseph did in his video today. But I think between he and I had a chance to dive in very thoroughly on the S3 camera. And neither of us knew exactly for sure the process for the S7. I do remember reading somewhere that the S7 had to be plugged into, I think, the USB-C port, because I think it has a USB-C out of the S7. We can look at that here in a minute, but let's talk about what's new. You can, the invite guest function is redesigned. So when you set up a live stream, it enables the invite guests. So you can actually invite, I believe, up to 5 guests in the YoloBox Extreme. I'm pretty sure that's correct. I apologize if I'm not. So it's been redesigned. And I don't have that open because I've not done any live streams yet from the YoloBox Extreme. So I still have to play around with the features that are enabled once you get into a live stream. But it's really cool because you can stream to more than one location from the YoloBox Extreme. You can actually put a SIM card in the YoloBox Extreme. I'm hooked up wirelessly to my network right now, so it's not plugged into my network. And I can still do NDI, which I will show you guys here in a minute. So I can actually turn on the NDI app on my phone and bring it into the YoloBox Extreme. So support for new file format, so I can record now in the Extreme, and it will make an XML folder similar to DaVinci Resolve folders that you can do in an ATEM Mini Extreme ISO model, or the ATEM Mini Pro, or the ATEM Mini Pro ISO model. Those models, when you set it to ISO record, like my Extremes in the studio, it will make a folder with a recording of all of the inputs. The cool thing about the YoloBox Extreme is you can enable which inputs you want to record, and then it will make a folder for those. So you only have 4 cameras. Why would you want a complete recording in that folder of all the other cameras if there's nothing plugged into those inputs? I like that about the YoloBox Extreme. So I haven't done anything yet. I haven't recorded it. In a video coming up, we'll open up that folder and take a look at it. You can download and import LUTs. So now you can actually match all your cameras. So basically you could bring all your cameras and create LUTs into DaVinci Resolve, however you want to do that. And then when you plug them in, set them to their normal settings, create LUTs for them with their normal settings, and then bring those cameras into your YoloBox and then load in a LUT. And that's really cool. A LUT basically is a color file. So you can take the video that you're, or the camera that you are coloring, and you can create a basically a lookup table. This is what I want you to change in the colors, and then load that into a YoloBox Extreme into that particular input. And we'll show you that here in a minute. And then you can load a LUT in there and change the look of the camera. That's really cool. Supports the S3, S7 camera settings adjustments now, which we just got done talking about. Wired network supports fixed MAC address settings. So you can fix the MAC address so it stays static. Show signal info for HDMI in and USB cameras in the pull down menu, and I'll show you guys that in a second. Audio mixer supports long press to record channels, so you can actually long press and record the audio channels. Audio mixer supports independent left-right channel display now, and I saw that in the update. Optimize recording file directory structure and naming convention. And I'm sure that's mainly for getting it ready for those new XML folders. So you could drop it into Final Cut Pro or Premiere Pro or DaVinci Resolve and be able to edit those. I think in essence, it's designed to be formatted for Final Cut, but I'm sure that you can ingest those folders. I just haven't done it yet in DaVinci Resolve or Adobe Premiere. So added pop-up notification displays the save folder path after recording. Replay intro, outro, logic optimization. YoloCast event supports background music. So if you're doing a YoloCast event, you can do background music as you're in a break or whatever. That's been enabled. And I think Photo Joseph demonstrated that today in his video. And I'll put a link in the description to Photo Joseph's live stream from today. Again, he just vaguely went through those different features, but that will give you guys more information if you're curious. So background music, multi-view out supports device performance info displays now. USB-C out supports resolutions and frame rate info display, so you can see what your frame rate and your info is on the USB-C out. Added Dutch and Polish language support. Supports power save mode. USB-C port supports audio loop out without headphone monitoring. And encoding settings now include plus and minus buttons, improved system prompts and guidance. And then here is a list of bug fixes, fixed an issue where S3 settings were not applied when saving different scenes, fixed image stretching issues with NDI. And again, you guys can look over all of these updates, and then you just can scroll down and continue to look at all of these. So back to the device. Let's change this to mirror source. So again, if I was to click on HDMI 4 down here, the little icon, then you can see on the right bottom, I can add a LUT, and then I can add a LUT on the right-hand side and enable that LUT, and it opens up a window very similar to the one that we used when we were doing the S3 camera settings, a separate window. We'll go down the audio settings. You can see you have stereo right and left. And if I go over here and disable this view and switch back to out of director mode into classic mode, okay, then here is the audio window opened up. And so again, you have right and left stereo display. I haven't played a lot with this, so I can't really tell you all that changed, and you guys can't see me when I go to that screen. So let's go back to where we were. Back to director mode. And get out of that screen. Let's see, what else were we talking about here? I wanted to demo. We already did the color settings for the S3. Show signal info for HDMI in and USB cameras out, pull down menu. So I pull down the menu, there you go. You have my, oh, let's turn the logo off so you guys can see that. So on the left, you have my 4K camera coming in for my EOS R. So it will HDMI out of the EOS R by Canon 384 or 3840 by 2160 at 30 frames per second. Then you can see those two USB cameras are coming in at 1920, 1080, 60 frames per second. Even though they're 4K sensors, I don't know why they don't send out 4K, and the YoloBox doesn't see that, but it is what it is. And then I also have the third USB camera plugged in at 30 frames per second, and that is my older Insta360 Link version 1. It's plugged in here as well, so I'll swipe back up, and that's how you get to that screen. Audio mixer now supports audio mixer supports long press record. So I don't know where that's at, but don't want to mess with that. Add pop-up notifications, replay, intro, outro logic, optimize, YoloCast music. So there's music clips available to load in right here. I just have my one background track in here, but on the bottom of the icons, you can see you have the main adjustment. Then you have, and so I can make these smaller or larger. Then you have overlays. That's where I was able to bring up these overlays. And I think this one is for my main cam, which is the EOS R, and that's over top of me on the right-hand side again. And then next to that is the audio page. Next to that is the recording section. Next to that is the information and resolutions for encoding. Next to that again is the audio. Next to that is replay settings. Next to that is transitions. Next to that is scoreboard. And again, the other options are available when you go in to start a live stream. And the way to get to that is you go to the out screen. I'll go ahead and show you guys that. Hopefully you won't have a camera while I'm doing that, but I'll go out. Are you sure you want to exit monitor mode? Yes, I'll try it. No, I think I can't. I can't show you guys that screen. Actually, I think I can only show you guys this screen so you wouldn't see anything if I did that. So we won't go there. So again, and then if I want to add that NDI source input, I take my camera out and go to Rode's NDI app. Open up the Rode NDI app, and then it starts to cast, and there it is right down there. I already added it, and I can bring that up on the screen, and I could make that live and go around the room. And again, I'm hooked up to my network through wireless. I do not even have the side antennas attached that you can pop this out and put the two antennas in. They're still in the box, one on each side, but there you go, and you can see the inputs that I have. This is my 4K camera. This is going out into the live stream, into my ATEM. This is the YoloBox YoloLive S3 or YoloCam S3. This is the Insta360 Link 2 Pro. This is this camera right here, the older Insta360 Link 2, and I'll show you that image here in a second. And then the power cable, because the battery originally was way lower than that. Now it's at 100%. And I could actually unplug this, and it just goes over to battery. So love the fact that this has a battery plugged into it. So let's push this out of the way again. Go back to my wireless go-to microphone. And so again, you have this stand that I purchased. I think it was like $9, and I'm just using it underneath the YoloCam S3. It comes up really far, so I thought this would be a great place to Velcro on a receiver, like the Wireless Go receiver that I have right here. So it'd be a great place to take this out if I needed to use it, and I could Velcro it right there. So I like that these are taller, even though there's HDMI cables in the way. But this thing will telescope in and out, so I can actually arrange it so it's in between those devices, or I can just move the device over a little bit and make a space for this. So I thought that would be a really cool way of using that. Put that back in there, and that just sits over here because I have this one on me right now. So that's what you're listening to, is this little Wireless Go 2. And you can see the lights are on, unlike last week. I had to edit our live video last week because I forgot to turn this back on right before I came in the room. So let's change cameras from this one. Let's see, where is that other camera? Oh, it was working. There it is. So that, my friends, is the other USB-C camera. So I plugged in 3 webcams. So right now you're looking at 3 webcams plugged into the YoloBox Extreme. The one on the left is the S3. The one in the middle is the Insta360 Link 2 Pro we unboxed last week. And the one on the far right, which is coming down on the YoloBox Extreme as an overhead camera, this is the Insta360 Link 2, the original version. And it is a 1/2-inch chip, I believe. it a 1/2 inch or smaller than? I think it's smaller than that. And the new Insta360 Link 2 has the 1/1.3. So again, better picture. I can't change the settings in these cameras, the one on the middle or the one on the right, but I can change the settings on the S3 by just coming down into that camera again and clicking on it, camera settings. Then I could actually go into the brightness, and instead of being ISO 400, I could bring this down to ISO 320 and then exit out. And now it's even a little darker and the blues pop more, but it's a little underexposed. So we'll go back into that camera again, click on settings. You can see how fast I could switch these. And let's just bump the ISO back up to 400 and exit out. The fact that I can control those type things, in my opinion, is amazing. And you can see I have other layouts. I can do this kind of layout. I have the layout you've seen earlier, and I also have this layout. So if we were to bump that over and then come back here to settings, get back here. Settings, go down here to HDMI out, and let's go back to program. And there you have 3 cameras side by side. And again, I'll point at them. Insta360 Link right there in the middle, S3 right there on the far left, and EOS R now is on the right. So Insta360 I'm pointing at, Link 2 Pro. And again, it's got really good focus. It's set for face focus, so I'm holding it over me, but I could change that, but I'd have to use the software. Here's the S3. A little slower for whatever reason. Seeing my face. And then obviously my camera is the same thing. I have it on face detect. So lots of fun. Playing around with the YoloCam S3, the YoloBox Extreme, and playing around with the Insta360 Link 2 and using all of those. And I think it's exciting. I really like the YoloCam S3. I'm really looking forward to seeing if they come out with the gimbal camera with the same sensor in it and make it NDI capable. That would be really cool. That would probably become my new Skycam, though I will probably keep all these cameras to some extent. So let's put the chat back on the air. I apologize. I've been talking a while without catching up with you guys. So Tony says, feel like I'm a Best Buy looking at a TV display wall, laugh out loud. Just kidding. I personally like the YoloCam S3 image, the best of the 2 cameras. Yeah, and that's what people seem to say. Thank you, Tony, for hitting the like. Looks like Tony gave me a super chat. I apologize that doesn't show up, but thank you, Tony, for that. That's going to go to good use. So any questions about those devices, the YoloBox Extreme or the YoloCam S3, or the 2 devices that we talked about tonight, the new RØDECaster Video Core or the new why can't I think of it right now? It is called, again, scrolling down here, the YoloCam P7. So you guys can't see it right now because Tony's chat, super chat is over that. But again, thank you so much, Tony. If you guys have any questions about these or any things you'd like to say, are you someone that would be interested in the YoloCam P7? Is that something that you would recommend that YoloLive gets going on to compete with Osbot cameras and Insta360 Link cameras. I'm sure my friends at Insta360 Link 2 or Insta360 don't want any more competition, but we all know that competition is really good for us and for them, because again, it gets people making advancements and changing things. I think that's where the YoloBox Extreme came from. The ATEMs, the other devices like the Magewell, Director Mini, some of those great devices that are out there that I've never had my hands on those. OC has some great switchers. Roland's been making switchers for years. Rode's now making switchers with the RODECaster Streamer X, I think was the original one, and for like gamers, and now they have the RODECaster Video, the RODECaster Video S, and very soon we are going to potentially see this device, the RODECaster Video Core, and so pretty cool that this will actually be able to be controlled from the front of the device. And I think in this video, right about here, where is it at? That's the NDI. Yeah, right here, he's actually using the buttons to make changes in the RODECaster Video Core, which is really cool. So any thoughts or any comments that you guys would like to make? Again, thank you so much, Tony, for that super chat. I really, really appreciate it. Do you have a preference regarding the USB cams? Oh, do I have a preference? Well, I like them all for certain reasons, but I think right now, if I was going to pick a favorite, if I was going to be able to actually own a, so I think, let me catch my breath. Let me lay a foundation for that, Tony. Because I know that people will take my opinion and maybe run out and buy something. So let me put it in context. The webcams that I use are designed to be an inexpensive camera in my studio to show things around my studio. I do consulting. I have to show a lot of things. Sometimes I'm showing the surface of a RODECaster video, sometimes the ATEM Mini Pro, sometimes the ATEM Mini Extreme. Sometimes I need to show my screen, and that's why I need Super Source, so I can change things like this and bring in my desktop if I'm showing software, or if I need a client to be able to see the control software, I'm using my ATEM to do this. But then if I need to bring in a camera to show my desk, I have been doing it this way. And so let's turn chat off the air. And then if I want to bring in me and my Skycam, here's camera 4 in my Skycam, here's camera 1 and my Skycam, and this is my original Insta360 Link. And so I've used it for a long time, going through OBS to bring in this image with things on my desk. And again, I can control it through the software. So I can zoom in and out, and I have the software open on my PC. So this camera, other than it would be nicer if it was, let's see, do I have a better camera image here, shot? That was that one. That one. So that image, you know, if it had a better sensor, it'd be perfect. You know, it was great when I first got it. I spent over, I think, $250 to buy that Insta360 camera, the Link. I have 2 of them. There are 2 of them are fired up in the studio. That's number 1. And Tony, to answer your question, this is number 2. Let me just pop it on. And it is on Tony Stark's head right now. And I have presets so I can move it around. I use it for my intro video, and I use it as my Skycam. And if you ever watched my intro, I usually have my Skycam on showing you different things in the studio while you wait for the 7-minute countdown clock. So I love this camera, but and it has 3 gimbals, and then they came out with the Insta360 Link 2, and the Insta360 Link 2 is this camera right here. So let's bring it on the air, and I do that by going back here. So it is a little bigger sensor than the original Insta360, but it only has 2 gimbals. You guys can see me a little bit on the screen on the other side. So again, so it is a pretty good camera. You can see the image there. It's a little bit better than the other one. I need to adjust the colors. And then you can bump up to the Insta360 Link 2 Pro, which we unboxed last week. So that's this image. And it has 2 gimbals. It will tilt side to side and pan up and down, and then you can tip it sideways and do portrait video. The Insta360 Link version 1 had 3 gimbals, so it's great as an overhead camera. They've added some overhead features in the Insta360 Link and the Link 2 and the Link 2 Pro, and they work decent, but not near as nice as having the 3rd gimbal. And then obviously you have your favorite camera, which is this one right here. And this is the S3 by YoloLive. It's called the YoloCam S3. And it's a 1/1.3 sensor, just like the new Insta360 Link 2 Pro. And I'm still working on the colors on the 2 Pro. I just can't control it with the YoloCam. So now to cut to the chase, it really depends how you are going to use those cameras. So if I was to pick a favorite right now in my studio and I could keep the YoloBox Extreme, it would be the S3. But because I got to send it back, I will be using the Insta360 Link 2 Pro because I will be able to keep it. I get to keep the S3 camera as well. I'll be using it. The S3 will work in the RØDECaster video. So that would be my camera if I took my RØDECaster video to do a shoot. And the Insta360 cameras will be continuing to run through my computer. So I bring my computer in through an HDMI cable, and then I can bring the Insta360 Link version 1, Insta360 Link number 2, and the Insta360 Link number 2 Pro all in. So, so I guess my all-time favorite camera is the original Insta360, but I've really been watching the updates, and I definitely like the picture quality in the new Insta360 Link 2 Pro, because again, I think it's a great picture, and obviously it's a little more blue than this picture right here, which is the S3, which is a little warmer. And this image does seem a tiny bit more crisp than this image, but I don't know. It's the jury's out because, again, they're the same exact chip. Then the software is what they use to do the coloring. And again, the S3 has the ability to do some pretty cool things with it, and it's not plugged into my laptop right now, so it's not like I can pop it up. And then back to the good old boy, my EOS R, and I have my shorter throw lens right now on this for a number of reasons, so I switched lenses, so this is a different lens tonight than you guys have been seeing, but it's still an L lens by Canon. So I don't know if that really answers your question, Tony, but we will turn Tony Stark off, and we will put Tony's question back on the air. So I hope I answered that. That's a fair and solid answer. Thanks. Yeah, it's a long answer, but I'm glad that you felt like it was fair answer. Well, it's been an hour and a half tonight. Normally we're on longer than this, but we've covered everything. I do want to take some time for some Q&A if you guys have any. I would love to answer any questions. Again, I use this lens because I was matching these different lenses. If I did have this on the screen, I was trying to get them about the same picture. Of course, I've messed them up a little bit tonight, but I was trying to get them as close to possible so that you guys could do a comparison. So there you go. Those cameras on the screen again. And in case you guys were not here earlier, I will turn these overlays on so you can see what camera is what here. So there we go. And again, colored in the best way I can. I don't do a lot of sharpening in my Canon camera. There's a lot more sharpening and brightness going on in the two webcams, but this 1/1/3 sensor is very, very nice. Again, it doesn't do as good in low light as my EOS R full frame sensor, which is huge compared to these web cameras or PTZ camera sensors. So again, that's what tonight's video is about, the update to the Extreme to be able to control the S3. So now that S3 can literally be changed on the fly. And so I can actually, while it's on the air there, let's turn those overlays off. That looks very silly. So we'll leave this on because that's the camera we're playing with. And let's go back into the settings again and go into the brightness. And again, it seems to calm down once I get in these settings, but I could bring it all the way down to ISO 200. That's ISO 200. And let's go back up to ISO 400. And then I could actually change lots of settings on this S3 camera, which now I'm looking directly into. So if you're just looking for a really quality webcam, there's nothing wrong with this. You can see the fall off behind me. I'll make it a little darker so you can see the background a little better. So I'll make me a little bit less, but you know, you can decide if you like the blur in the back, and you can compare that blur to this blur, which is and I have this set to 5.6 on my EOS R. So there they are. This is the S3 and the EOS R, and you can see the blur in the back. And I could make this a lot more blurry because these lenses will go down. I think this one will go down to f4. The other lens I had on before will go down to 2.8. But this is at 5.6, which is what I normally do. So we bring the S3 back over, and now that we can adjust these settings, I can fine tune it and the color a lot more. So back up to ISO 400, and then we'll get out of this screen. And now we're back to the S3 camera, but we're going to close tonight in our EOS R as we always are. So any other thoughts before we go or questions? It's been a great stream. I want to thank each one of you for showing up. Tony for the super chat. Obviously, that helps. One of these live streams in the spring, we're going to talk about how you monetize your channel, what kind of income you can get from your channel. People ask me how long it took me to get to the subscribers that I have. And if you go back and look at the history of my channel, let's just pop it open here real quick as we wrap up tonight. Estimated revenue, $80.27. That's where I'm tracking right now from the commercials that you guys watch here on my channel. And I can go through the dashboard. We will talk more about that in a live stream. I know that if you're a member of Arron's channel, he's done some behind the scenes financial stuff for last year. Shannon and I just did my business math. And because of my broken ankle, I spent more money than I made this year in my Life Journey Productions business. And that's because I did carry some funds over from last year. So, and again, you guys were here. You saw that I updated more of my audio tools. And really, I'm focusing my business now on one-on-one support. So if someone needs to add audio to their world, I can train them on the RODECaster Pro, or I can actually train them on the PreSonus 32SC console, and do some one-on-one training. So I could do that at a venue, or I can do it here in the studio. And so that's mainly what I'm focusing on, consulting here on the channel. In fact, if you don't know that, I do consulting for people that want to learn some of this tech. If you want to learn about the audio side, the lighting side, the automation side, you want to know more about video for live stream or audio for live stream, maybe you need a studio set up and you need someone to bounce ideas off of, I would absolutely love to offer you a free 1-hour consult just to see if maybe I can help you in an hour. And then if you want more information, I'll tell you how my consulting program works. You can get information about me and fill out the form that's right here under my website, under contacts, and that's in the description below. I added this this week, updated my website, spent about 4.5, 5 hours yesterday. This is a Wix site, and I went through and did some updating, and you can just fill out this form and put in here that you would like to have a free 1-hour consult, one per person, per family. So if you had a brother that lived with you and he needed a free consult, fine with me, but one per person is how that works. So just click on the link below and you can fill that out, and I would be happy to meet with you on Zoom and for an hour, or get acquainted and find out if there's something that I could help you with in that hour. So again, shout out to, let's just look at this real quick because it's worth many of you guys know that I am in Washington, and it looks like the Seattle Seahawks are going to be facing the New England Patriots. And if you don't know the story of that, it's it's going to be a lot of fun because we lost to the Patriots here in the state of Washington, the Seattle Seahawks, with a interception right before the end of the game, right on, I think, the 3-yard line. And so not only did they have to go through the 49ers and the Rams twice at the end of the season to get to where they are, the New England Patriots had to go through Denver Broncos to get there, and that's just the way it played out. You never know what's going to happen. And so we have a Super Bowl coming up in a couple weeks. That will be a lot of fun. But our state's pretty excited. Those are the people that are actual Seattle Seahawks fans. So if you're a New England Patriot fan, congratulations. If you are a Seattle Seahawks fan, congratulations. If you're not a fan of either one of those, I'm really sorry. I know exactly how you feel if your team did not make it to the big game. So it's not a sports channel, but I just thought I'd give a shout out to those of you that enjoy football. I know it's been crazy weather over a lot of the areas here in the United States. So for you, my heart goes out to you. I hope you're staying safe and warm in those southern, eastern states that have been hit by the horrible storms. My heart goes out to you because we had one of those a number of years back where I had 6.5-foot drifts, 4.5-foot drifts on in my whole entrance to my house and my back patio, and it took us like a day and a half to shovel out our driveway that year. So we will be back again next Tuesday live at 4 o'clock. I am planning on buckling down. That's why things are wired in the studio, and I have the webcams up. I am getting ready to shoot some videos Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And my trip to Portland has been postponed, so I will be in the studio this week working on some videos. I hope when they come out, you guys will watch and like them. I hope you'll like tonight's video if it helped you out. So again, thanks you to YOLO Live and Insta360 and all of the guys that did videos. Shout out to them. The links are below, that did the research and shot videos at CES. Aaron Parecki, who did some follow-up to find out more about the RODECaster video core. We are all more educated because of you, and we really, really appreciate it if you guys tune in to this video. So I am Keith, and this is Life Journey Production Studios. We'll just look at the chat here one last time. Go Seahawks. Lots of laughter from Aviator 200. Thanks for the stream. Great to be here from the start for a change. Yeah, it was great to have you, Tony. Obviously, the 12s, yeah. And Gary, good show. And Info Keith, night, everyone. Oh, too late. I don't know what that means, but thank you so much. So you guys have a great week. I will see you very, very soon. The 7 days go by faster than you know. But until then, thank you so much for tuning in to Life Journey Production Studios live stream each Tuesday. I am very, very honored, and I'm very, very thankful. And I look forward to learning more about what you guys are doing out there in the world of live streaming tech, not just through the chat, but in our next Zoom town hall. I hope you guys will stay tuned and join that in about 2.5 months. We'll do another one. It'll be great to meet you face to face. And again, if you want a free 1 hour, it's accessible to you. Even if you do not want any consulting, if you just want to have a conversation, that would be great. I would love to get acquainted with you. I do those as time's available, but you can just, again, fill out the form in the link in the description. So good night.